I'm a partner at Irwin Mitchell in London, and I specialise in medical negligence, so represent children and adults who've suffered complex brain and spinal cord injuries. So in a nutshell, that's what I do, and represent them. I don't think a path in law was ever set out for me. I'm the eldest of 3 children, and neither of my parents went to university. My dad used to go into failing car dealerships and turn them round and make them profitable. And actually, I learned a lot from him in terms of business skills, and they always gave us fantastic advice and very solid advice. So yeah, definitely the first to go to university in my family. When I left university, I read law, and I didn't have a training contract because I wasn't sure in terms of, until the very last year of my degree, what I wanted to do. And in the third year, I thought I definitely want to do medical negligence. I'm determined to be a lawyer. So I then took out a large bank loan, went into the bank to pay for my legal practice course, had no training contract. Nearly everyone else doing my LPC had a firm to back them up, and I didn't have that, so financial security. And I ended up applying for a job as a paralegal at a firm called Alexander Harris, and they were a niche clinical negligence firm. And I decided, because I knew what I wanted to specialise in, I would get experience in that area of law. And really, within a couple of months, I was offered a training contract with Alexander Harris. And within about a week of signing my training contract, where we merged with Irwin Mitchell. So I ended up training with Irwin Mitchell, and I've been there ever since. I knew once I got my foot in the door that hopefully I'd be able to impress. So with every piece of work I was given, I really tried hard at it and took every single opportunity I could to try and impress, my supervisors and my boss, and feel like it paid off. I had a really supportive female supervising partner pretty much all the way through my career, and would sit down and say, I think these are the areas I need to work on. Can I get more experience in perhaps presenting or a different type of project? And then I would try and really take control over my career and next steps. And that's really how I've sort of progressed. About 3 years qualified, I was promoted to associate. And then at 7 years qualified, I was promoted to partner when I was on maternity leave with my first son. And I'll never forget, my son was about 3 months old, and went to the assessment day in Sheffield, and it was a really, really tough day. It was a day consisting of presentations, and then you would have an interview, and there were 3 sessions of those. And I was still feeding my son, so I remember having to fit in these interviews, and really, really tough. I've got a photo of me on the assessment day with my son. But what I did love about that day is I was talking about my clients and talking about my work, and I was sort of wrenched out of my maternity leave for a day, straight back into work, into a suit, wearing heels, and talking about my cases and my clients. And I suppose that day really reinforced to me, even though I've had a child, that this is, I love my career and I'm completely dedicated to it, and fortunately got the promotion, so it went well. I feel like I've been quite fortunate, and I can't really say because I was a woman that I have directly faced obstacles. Perhaps that's a generation thing, that now my generation coming through, we don't have the negative experiences that perhaps people with 20 years experience on me have had. So no overt obstacles. Sometimes people will hold unconscious bias in terms of if you have children or other caring responsibilities, that perhaps you don't have the time, or people don't want to overburden you as a woman. And sometimes I have found those sort of comments have been made, and I've thought, would you say that to a man? Would you say to a man with 3 young children, actually, have you got time to take on this project? In my submission, I talked about there's often a sense of inevitability that you can't make partner and also have a family life, and I like to think that that isn't right. I don't like the feeling that if you stay late at work one day, for instance, you're a great lawyer. If you get home for bedtime and leave at 5 o'clock, then you're a great mum. Why can't there be both of those things? And I don't think you can have everything, But I think that really is what I put in my submission, and that we need to be very supportive of other women, and mentoring, sponsorship is really key. And I think sometimes, for women in particular, there can sometimes be a tendency, and I see it occasionally, to wait until you tick every single box for promotion. And sometimes men will apply for promotion when they satisfy 80% of the criteria. And I think there needs to be a move away from that. I think women need to think, actually, you can never be entirely perfect. You're not going to be perfect at everything. But if you feel like you've got a shot at it, then you should go for it.